on cross-cultural shamanism. As a former corporate trainer and human resource director, she's taught for Elder Hostel, Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. Anybody familiar with that? Because that's in a lot of colleges offering continuing education for people in the community, a lot of like older folks, but not just them. And other emeritus programs at universities and colleges. I am really pleased that she's willing to come and share her information once again with us. We're going to be doing a little videotaping, and hopefully sometime within the next decade we'll get it edited and we'll put it up on our YouTube channel. Amari.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to have you, and thank you so much.
My turn.
I'll go walk away now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think you need this thing too, right, for the video?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm really pleased to see such a great turnout. This is wonderful. It sounds like some of you are familiar with soul retrieval, some with recapitulation. What I felt was important to do this today is that we're in a time when our energies are getting shifted pretty easily. We're getting hit by this and that and this and that. And there are many ways in shamanic traditions to get your energy back. So today I'll introduce a few of them. We're going to do an activity with recapitulation. Some of you I saw brought floor mats, some didn't. It's best if you can lay down, but if you can't, I'll figure out how you can do it sitting. The second part, we'll do a curanderismo soul retrieval, and we'll talk about that. So we're kind of going to go through a few things here today. Oops, if I can flip this. Okay, so how do we lose energy? Bad news, we get a lot of that. I was looking at the news earlier this morning. There wasn't one single positive entry on the Yahoo News, and I thought that if you check that out every day, you start your day kind of like, oh, what kind of day is it going to be? We have disagreements with people that affect our energy. In fact, it's really interesting when I talk about recapitulation, because I had a weird situation happen the other day. I almost never have confrontations with people, and a lady misunderstood something I said and started just practically screaming at me in the laundry room in front of another resident. And because I'm not used to that, I went home, I was shaking and my belly was kind of hurting. And so I remembered recapitulation, let's get rid of this, because I took on some kind of shame and blame and she gave off some anger. And so recapitulation is a wonderful way to manage all of these energies that we've taken on in our life. The great part about recapitulation is you're the driver. You're the one that's going after this energy. Whereas soul retrieval, usually you have someone supporting you. We could say a shaman or someone familiar with that. So we've got negative feedback that we get, the environment, social, emotional climate. You lose a job, a relationship ends. And then we have the extraordinary things that impact us, like abuse. PTSD would be an extraordinary, a protracted illness and addiction, major accidents, chronic bad relationships, and a severe childhood. We're even coming out now with a new malady for people that have survived bad childhoods. It's kind of interesting. There's all kinds of new acronyms. And so some general protection, some of you know this, that if you're in a situation where you feel some fear or you're concerned, you can surround yourself in a white light. And you could even form a pyramid over your head with this light, kind of an impenetrable energy, so that you feel okay in the situation you're in. We can empower the will center, and I like to teach this to people that haven't used it. Put your hands on your solar plexus right now, if you will. I can't do both, so. And what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes and start taking a deep breath into the solar plexus, imagining kind of a golden light. Just breathe in. Hold the breath a little, let it naturally fall, and breathe out. If you will do that in any situation that you're in where you're not feeling comfortable, you're feeling disempowered, and you can take a quick break or even just do it quietly when you're in a room with someone that in some way attacking you, that will help you a lot, because this is our will center. And this is the center where we can easily be attacked. So when we protect it, like sometimes I'll wear a belt that's got a great big buckle on it to kind of protect that area. We could do the violet flame of Saint Germain. How many of you are familiar with that? Okay, it's Saint Germain is presented as having this beautiful violet light in the middle. And if you were to visualize that and hold that vision, it may help with protection. We could do a pyramid of energy. Like I said the other, create a cone of energy around yourself. As you're standing, just imagine that from the top, you're building a pyramid around you so that it's almost like, I used to say my second husband was like that. If there was an emotional issue, I thought this plexiglass thing came down and you couldn't ever get through it. So, awareness, just becoming aware that we're feeling some negative energy or we're feeling some fear, and kind of talking to that. What is this about? Is it an old tape? Is it something that I've experienced before and I'm just kind of reacting to that? Or is there a present danger? I think in my book, when it's here, I mentioned that when I first started doing some type of meditation, we were doing sensory deprivation. And so we put blinders on and then earplugs. And I did that when I went to bed, and all of a sudden I was very aware there was a presence in the room. Very aware. And of course then the first reaction was that fear of flight kind of thing. And then I got myself calmed down and I asked, is anything untoward happening to me? And the question was no. The answer was no. So I just kind of sat with that, and I realized that there was an energy, there was a being in the room, but that nothing bad was happening. So that was awareness. We could smudge. I smudged our room with Palo Santo, which is a sacred wood from Peru today, so that we would have a sacred space to work in. We could balance our 7 major chakras, do a balancing energy that would help us to stay out of fear. We could also use sacred water. The curanderos call it agua bendita. And what it is a purified water that you've put a special floral essence in. Agua de Florida is one of the ones from Peru. What's the Cananga? Agua de Cananga. There's one that the curanderos like, which is called Siete Machos, which is the strength of 7 goats. And so that when you put that in water and spray it around, you feel that really strong energy. But the ultimate thing that we can do is love. Anything that we can send love at, we're going to shift that energy. So let's talk about soul loss. But before we do that, what's the soul? Anyone have some thoughts on what a soul is? Could you define it? Oh, come on, people. What do you think of soul? Go ahead.
The most godlike part of you.
Okay, that's a good definition. John, did you want to say something?
It's not the bottom of my shoes.
Not usually. That's soul is spelled a little bit differently. Okay. Wendy.
It's the essence of each human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim?
The chakra system, it could be viewed as the 8th chakra, the part of us that's never born and never dies, and contains blueprints, but not static blueprints.
Right.
It's an essence that evolves also.
Right. It has a different definition with different groups of people.
Yep.
Some of it is just the essential whatness of who we are. The Ojibwe believe that we have a head soul and a heart soul, and that they have to work in concert with one another. And in the Jewish tradition, the older Jewish tradition, they also believe that you have 2 aspects of your soul. But the way I define it is it's the part of you that is eternal, that's never going to leave. That's the essence part of us, that when this body decides to go on a permanent vacation, until we pull in another one, we have this essence that is us. So some of the symptoms of soul loss are disassociation. You don't feel connected. There's something, you can't explain it necessarily, but it's a disconnection. Feeling numb or the walking dead, walking around almost as if you're in a daze. Depression, suppressed immune system, chronic childhood illness. When you see kids that are sick over and over again, there's a kind of a question like what's going on in the environment. And I'll digress for a moment. The shaman used to go to the home of the person that was having a problem, and they actually stayed there because they needed to know what the energetic dynamics were in the relationships, and they needed to feel the energy in the home. Other things are gaps in childhood memories. You have a block, a period from your childhood that you've totally blocked out, or in one situation, two sisters, one remembered the blank period for the other. It's kind of interesting. Addiction is certainly a sign of some soul loss or something we're trying to fill. I don't know if that applies to coffee or not. I haven't decided. No, okay. Oh, good. Emptiness, feeling stuck, or multiple personality disorder. So I'm going to pass out a little handout right now and have you spend just a couple minutes looking at it and see if you feel that you have a soul loss. Now, I'm talking here about a core soul loss. There's a lot of stuff being bandied around now about little pieces. We'll talk about that with recapitulation. But the traditional Native American soul retrieval is when you had something traumatic happen to you that you feel a part of you is just not there. I've done soul retrievals for people that had sexual abuse, had chronic family issues. One man had done a lot of therapy, and the therapy always showed that his father was the abusive parent. But in the soul retrieval, what turned up is the real loss was his mother didn't stop it. She was witness to it, and she felt disempowered to do anything about it. Sometimes a soul retrieval could even go to a past life. I've done ones where a past life came. As the person that's managing the soul retrieval, I have to trust that wherever I'm guided to on the journey is exactly where I need to be. But these are core pieces. These are pieces that keep the person from fully functioning. They're not the little pieces. We'll talk about that with recapitulation. So could we pass that out? The single sheet. And before you go, I have a handout for you when we get later on.
The question ones?
Yep. I'm going to try to keep us on time. So we will be talking about recapitulation, and then I'm going to have you do an exercise. And that should be about, I think, until 2:30. And then I'd like you to take a break. And then we'll come back and we'll do a soul retrieval exercise and talk more about soul retrieval. Okay, so just take a minute. I'm going to be quiet. Can't do my addiction. My coffee's not here. I have to do tea. Okay, thanks.